Today we're taking a look at one beast of a router, and when I say beast, this is an absolute monster. This has a lot of ports. It has 3 multi-gig ports available, but we'll get into all of those ports and VPN support a bit later on in this video. But this supports the new Wi-Fi 6E standard, which means I'm really going to be able to cut through all of that interference that's around me. It's also one mesh compatible, so if you need to easily fix that dead zone, a couple clicks and you're done. Let's go ahead and set up the Archer 300 from tplink together and see what it's all about. If we take a look at the actual router itself, you have 8 antennas, and these antennas can be positioned in different arrays, if you will, all independent of each other. And what I like about this router versus some other routers on the market, you actually do get these screw holes on the back, so this can be wall mountable without any additional brackets, without any additional hardware. The hardware is really nice. I think the router looks pretty cool. Taking a look at the router, we get 3 multi-gig ports, again, making this a beast of a router if you ask me, especially if you have that fiber optic goodness coming through. You can see there's this combo port here. So there's the RJ45 and the SFP plus combo port, perfect for those fiber optics. And right next to it, you have that 10 gig port as well, and this can be either a WAN or a LAN. Yet another 10 gig port right next to it that can be configurable as a WAN or LAN port. Here's your 4 gigabit ports, and again guys, the multi-gig goodness does not stop. There's that 2.5 gig port that can also be configured as WAN or LAN. So again, a lot of awesome ports on the side of the Archer AX300. There's a USB 3 port, a little reset pin, as well as your power toggle button right over there. And then on the other side as well, you have a button for your LED lights, a button for your Wi-Fi, and a button for that WPS. So again, if you're looking to somewhat future-proof yourself for quite a number of years, this is definitely a router that I would pick up. Opening up the Tether application, this is where you can get access to your TP-Link router, and you can see the status of your internet connection. You'll also be able to see how many clients are connected, and you have access to your wireless networks, your SSIDs for your main and for your guest network as well. Now underneath, you'll be able to access a couple options. So again, you can see all of your clients connected. You also do have a security tab. You also do have your parental controls tab. And clicking on tools, this is where you can get access to the most frequently used settings. But for more access, I would recommend that you log into the router using a browser. But the application gives you some quick options if you need to change things like your guest network, or you needed to just do a couple tweaks here and there. So let's head over to my browser and check out some of the settings together. Once you log into your router, you're presented with a splash screen of an overview of what's happening with your internet connection. So you can see your internet status right at the bottom here. Clicking on your router icon, you'll be able to see a little bit more information. So you can quickly edit or change your Wi-Fi SSIDs. You can also enable or disable the guest network right at the bottom here. And you'll be able to see your performance of your router. So you'll see the CPU load and the memory usage. With 41 clients connected, that's an absolute breeze for the Archer AX300. Now underneath, you'll see your Ethernet status. So if you do have anything connected, you'll be able to see what's connected down right here. This router is also one mesh compatible. So if you have any one mesh compatible range extenders, you'll see the status of them right down here. Now I've connected my 2 just for the purposes of this video, but I've been really happy with the range and speed of the Archer AX300. I'm also very happy that I can handle my 41 intensive clients without any sort of hiccup whatsoever. But clicking on clients, this is where you'll see the status of all of your clients once again in real time. You'll see their connection strength. You'll also see how long they've been connected to the router. There's also a speed limit, so if you want to pump the brakes on any device, you'll be able to do that very quickly. This can come in handy for a range of different reasons, maybe for your kids, or maybe for a device that you notice is sending a little bit too much information to the cloud. You can quickly pump the brakes and put a little speed limit. Under the wireless tab, you have a couple options that I just want to bring to your attention. For those of you that want to separate your 2.4 gigahertz channels from your 5 gigahertz channels, just go ahead and deselect Smart Connect. When it comes to your guest network, you have 4 different SSIDs available, and I like the fact that we can separate each of the channels individually and give them different SSIDs. So for example, all of my smart IoT devices are on the 2.4 gigahertz network because most of them only work on the 2.4 gigahertz. And I like the fact that this is separated from my main network, and I can also create a separate 5 gigahertz channel for maybe my smart TV, etc., etc. When it comes to the guest network, unfortunately, you have to use the same password for all of your guest networks SSIDs. TP-Link, if you're listening, I'd like to be able to have a different password for each of these guest networks here. Sometimes I like to just open up my Wi-Fi. Maybe on a weekend, I like to just free the Wi-Fi So I'd like that ability, for example, on the 5 gigahertz 2 channel, just to have an open network while maintaining my locked 2.4 gigahertz channel. Not to mention, when I have different people visiting my home, I like to give them different access to different networks. So I personally don't want to give them the main password to all of my guest networks. Again, that's just me nitpicking on something pretty minor, but I would like to see the ability to have different passwords, open or not, for all of these guest networks. When it comes to Home Shield, this is your ultimate protection from TP-Link. You're just going to do a little bit of a scan of your own network, and even if there's any Wi-Fi interference from the networks around you, it's going to let you know and give you an option if you need to optimize the channels. So I like Home Shield because it's a one-step scan for your security snapshot. There are also parental controls. There's a lot of different parental controls that you can do. So if you need to set up some parental controls for content or time or anything like that, this is where you'll be able to do that. You can also enable quality of service, and for more features, there's a little bit of a paywall, but for those of you that really want to be protected in the cloud and want to have TP-Link do that for you, maybe you're not too sure on how to do it, you can go ahead and pay for their Home Shield Pro. So again, there's a lot of options for a lot of different people. Under Advanced, there's a lot of options out there for those of you that really need to dive deep into your network. So you do have the option to enable port forwarding, you can enable routing, you can do all of that you'd expect in a high-end router. There's also a dynamic DNS feature that you can enable or disable. One of the features that I really like, and every router should have this feature in my opinion, is the VPN client and VPN server options. Now under VPN client, this is where you can connect your VPN subscription to the router itself. And then this way under the device list, you can have certain devices use that VPN connection while other devices use your ISP. This is perfect if you want to have, say, for example, your multimedia device connect to a VPN, or maybe you want to have all of your smart devices connect to a VPN as well. For you guys that use a VPN service, you know how valuable this is. VPN server is awesome, especially if you travel abroad and you want to connect back to the US and have all of your devices think that they're back home. With the VPN server setting in the Archer AX300, you can do that with OpenVPN, and there's a couple other protocols as well. So I like this fact because it's really, really simple. Basically, all you have to do is click Enable OpenVPN, click on Generate Certificate, and then import that certificate into your mobile device. Again, this router makes everything really simple. Even the more advanced tasks are just a breeze using the Archer AX300. So again, if you use a VPN service, I would recommend this. If you don't use a VPN service, it's good to have for the future. And this router definitely is future-proof thanks to having Wi-Fi 6E here. You can also connect your router to Alexa if you want to use your voice and activate certain features using Alexa. Again, there's a lot of different features in here. And here's that one mesh setting again. So if you have a one mesh compatible repeater or extender, you'll also be able to see which clients are connected to that one mesh device. So again, everything is very simple. Even though it says advanced, you'll be able to figure this out without any issue. And that's basically it when it comes to all of the settings. Now the fun part is to do a couple speed tests. When it comes to speed, I've been really impressed, and I've been getting my rated speed all around my New York City apartment. And even if you don't have many Wi-Fi 6 devices, you're still going to benefit from a high-end router, a router that's going to be capable of pushing all that speed to your devices. And of course with Wi-Fi 6 and that all-important Wi-Fi 6E, you're able to slice through all of that congestion that's around you. And that's the importance when it comes to Wi-Fi 6 and 6E. You're just able to eliminate a lot of that static noise, if you will. So this router really is perfect if you have a bunch of devices, a mixture of old and new devices. And especially since you can keep this router for many years to come, you'll be able to benefit from that Wi-Fi 6 and 6E bandwidth. But overall, I've been really happy with this router. I've been super happy with the quad band performance. No matter what type of device you have, you're going to benefit from this speed and range. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in another video.